Hi everyone, sorry about that. Just realised the light was off. Actually, I'll just go turn that on. Hang on a sec. Okay, right, that's better. It's a bit of movement at the beginning there. Hey everyone, hey Monique, good to see you. Wow, that was really bizarre because right at the very last minute, and I mean the last minute, I realised I had to do something and I knew it was going to take longer than a minute and it just took a minute. So that's really interesting as we approach this channeling, because I really felt like there was a message there of there's something that's happening right at the very last minute for those that are working with a light or coming from the stars, the souls that understand where they're coming from. Sorry, I'm a bit puffed. Okay, let's calm down. First up, before we really get into this, and it's going to be an interesting transmission, that's for sure, because I got a really powerful message yesterday. And yeah, not very organised, as you can see, but that's okay. We'll just go with this. Hey, Sky. Hey, Yannicka. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Wade. Good to see you. Right. First up, there is this new button called the hype button, and it only comes at the very beginning when a video is released. It's only going out to specific countries as well, so you might not see it. But if you do hype me, that'll be fantastic. That'll help me get my name out a bit more. Right. Also, I have new Patreon messages, new Patreon games coming through. I'm going to be uploading them today. There's 3 of them, taking you out of space, that sort of thing. They're just getting better and better as we go along too, because the graphics is just getting really juicy and fun, as well as the telepathic games. And I'll probably do another live. I want to try to keep those lives up so that we can have actual discussions, even though, not many people are coming at the moment. That's okay. But I just want to keep going towards what I want to produce here. What else is there? There is, I am an intuitive counselor. If you want a one-on-one reading with me, I just did a beautiful reading with a 20-year-old yesterday. And yeah, it's just so important at the moment to get our heads right through this game. And it is a game, right? What else have we got here? I'm also got a new channel up called Codes to a New Reality. I just put up, I was downloaded this whole way of how to shift my reality. And it was like a meditation that they gave me. So I've incorporated that into some sweet messages about time, and I've uploaded that to my Codes to a New Reality, as in the hidden codes of time and how to time shift. And there's a meditation, very small meditation that you can also practice in that to shift your reality, because it's really important at the moment that we get the hang of this shifting the game thing, right? And our old neuron paths. And this is why they said the end is near. There's an outer and an inner, a micro and a macro thing that's happening here. So we have the micro of our own way of thinking and who we are, who we believe ourselves to be, navigating our thought patterns, our energy fields, what we think we can accomplish in this world and what we think we can't accomplish in this world, all being readjusted, all being malleable and being asked to let go of. It's not just, there'll be small little things coming outside of us that are showing up to teach us how to navigate that, or what to shift out of and what not to. That's coming from your own self. Then there's the bigger macro, where there's the fall of a big thing, because this is the micro is happening in a big way. There's a whole heap of us, collectives coming together that are doing exactly the same work. It's not just one individual now, like Mahatma Gandhi or something. It's not just one person on the earth that has found their own inner peace and their own way of creating their reality. That it's not just one anymore or a few around the world. it is literally, well, they actually say 144,000. They're literally saying that number because it's something to do with that number. 144, they're saying, is adding up to 9. It's a 9, the end of an era. That's like, and also 44 is stability. We're grounding this independence within oneself, finding the God within oneself and grounding it into this world, creating abundance from the 44. Really interesting. Never thought of it like that. I love it when they bring these channel messages through about the numbers. So yeah, that's happening at the moment too. And we're also in a 9-year right here, right now. Now, in this 9 years specifically, big, huge changes and shifts have happened. People have had that God essence within us. Now, we all have God essence within us. That's who we are. We're God in a material, slowed down body to be able to create a adventurous path on this world. But there are those that are coming from these higher frequencies, these higher dimensions, and when they are aware, they're aware of this God within themselves, and that they are part of a bigger picture as well. And those are the ones that have come, starseeds that have come from other places, other dimensions, or light workers that have been here on Earth quite a while, but they have awoken to their authentic self, have been directed to different countries, different places around the world to do this grid work. And it's been massive grid work this year. May, June, July, they're saying. And yeah, May, June, July, there was, and I know even for myself, I went May the 5th, I was in New York, and that adventure, I didn't even know how the heck I got there. That is just a crazy thing. And I was at ground zero, and we definitely did grid work there. And there's been a lot of shifts and changes that have happened even around New York with the weather patterns and so forth that have come up. But it's the awakening of that feminine aspect of humanity's consciousness. We're not talking about just females, although females will start to be more empowered now. And their power isn't going to be the same as what the masculine power of trying to beat somebody up, outside of them and be better than. That's the masculine looking outside of itself to try to feel important. This is an inner work, an inner value, and knowing that we can shift our reality whenever we want. Because if you know you can shift your reality whenever you want, you don't need a big bank balance. You don't need I mean, you could walk into a beautiful home and all that, but you don't need anything in a physical, because you just keep shifting your reality towards the physical that you need in the moment. That is the magic of the feminine power that is rising. And we all have that within us, whether we're male or female. And that's what's starting to lift out, and that is the end of, and that's why they said the end is near, because the end of our masculine mind being in charge. And when our masculine mind's no longer in charge, what's going to happen outside of us? The masculine era, those that are masculine outside of us are going to fall. They're going to realize that they don't have the same purpose, they don't have the same drive. They don't need to be the best. And be powerful by controlling everybody else outside of them. There'll be like this slow, they're showing me slow drips and drabs of people that actually were Pleiadian and Arcturian, and start to remember their soul alignment and their feminine power themselves. They start to fall away from this conglomerate of energy that has just been focusing outside of themselves to feel powerful, and that's the higher place we're talking about, those that are ruling. Let's just put it that way. Don't want to say too much or else I'll get taken down. So yeah, I'm very aware of that as well. So what's happening is there is an end that's coming, but it's coming from the inside, within our own consciousness first, and then we are adding to the collective. We are becoming the grid, they're telling me. We are the grid. And then the grid starts to form in a stronger, more balanced way. We're not disowning the masculine part of ourselves. Of course, we've learned a lot about that, but there's a grid that's coming around the earth of those that are awakening at this moment. And it's very, what's a word for that? I don't even have an English word for that feeling. It's very, it's time precious. There's a preciousness about the time essence of this and the here and the now. It's already too late for that. That was empowered to stay in power. It's already too late. They will keep on. It's like you're walking down the street, right? And then you know your mind well, and you want to shift your story to a better story, and then all of a sudden the masculine mind comes in and says, but what happens if? And this is what's happening outside of us with our leadership as well. They're going, but what happens where? You know, and they're throwing this dark cloud over the frequency that you're trying to keep hold of. And then we have to, as an observer of this whole scenario happening within our heads, turn around and go, yeah, but we don't want that story anymore. I'm not giving it any sort of, I'm not looking at it at all. I'm just going to keep on focusing on the story that I really love. Those that are going through the trauma will have to go through the darkness. We knew this was going to happen. The light workers come first, and so it seems for us, we've done the work. But we knew that there was going to be bigger masses of people coming up after us. Now, our work that we did was all shadow work. We went into the depths of ourselves. We figured out who we were, and we pulled ourselves out. Now, can you imagine a mass doing that? A mass. Of course, there's going to be traumatic things in the outer world that are looking like, whoa, huge worldly events that are going to happen, that are trying to take their attention, and it's up to them individually to say, no, you know what, I've been here before, over and over and over again. I've been in the dark before. Every time I follow that, every time I go more into it, it becomes bigger in my reality. And it's time for people to take the reins and responsibility to their own self, to be able to flip the narrative, to be able to go, I am in control of my life, and what I direct my attention to becomes my reality. That sort of scenario is becoming been obvious in a mass sort of a way, and they're showing me more. There's going to be a mass, and then there's going to be a more of a mass, and then a more. It's kind of like this funneling of, or a pressure that's happening as we go through the eye of the needle, or going through the essence of love itself. The light workers start the ball rolling. Oh, we've found an opening. We know how to get through this. And then they filter themselves through. And then the pressure comes as the people start to meet and go, we want to come through as well. We want to come through as well. But they're still sitting above us. And they show me an hourglass. They're still sitting in that top section of that sand that's going through. And then there'll be like a sucking motion of everyone starting to pour through. So there's going to be these actual events. But this is why they said the end is near, because the end is near, because it's going to start to show up or play out in a big way, where our reality is going to shift dramatically. And the imagination is going to have more of a play in our life, and businesses are going to start to expand that, relieving people of the pressure. Things like beautiful, like spa rooms and stuff like that, places where you can really, really relax. And those that are running it will be more likely to be the light workers that are holding the energy or the frequency for those that are coming in as their clients, to have that respite. And they hold a frequency of, you've got this. You are also part of us. You are God going on a journey through, or universe going on a journey, whatever you want to call it. I don't really care what word you use. Into this next phase. And so they're showing me the end is near too, because we're coming to the end of 2009. And what's next? We've got, 2005, so which is a 9 number. what's next? We've got 2006, which is a 10, which is a 1, a new beginning, but also 10s is celebrations. We're starting, those that have done the work will definitely feel the celebrational vibe. They're showing me people who have got businesses that take people out on yachts and stuff like that. And, you know, if they have a really wealthy yacht, and before they were just going, look at me, I've got this wealthy yacht, and I've brought in the elite and all of that sort of stuff. We're having a party once every few months or something like that, and the yacht's just sitting in the moor for ages. And now they're showing me these people waking up and going, man, we can like open this up for a healing retreat for people to really find respite and invite people and have in a way that's conducive for people to actually come on board. And even they're showing me people that don't need money aren't asking for money. They're asking for energy alignment. There's something to do with businesses asking for energy alignment that's conducive. The imagination then becomes the value of humanity. We start to want people with a very vast imagination, someone who's an inventor. That sort of thing becomes more not sparse, that's the opposite, more. Trying to find these words really quickly of this channeled message of them coming through and how we're actually working through this. So, and there's a passionate vibe here. Now, what happened was I channeled through this message last night, and it was really powerful and strong. And I'm like, who the heck is this from? So I thought, I really want to find out who this is from. And usually I don't really care, because I'm like, oh, we're all one, you know, whatever. If it's the Pleiadians, if it's the Cyanians, if it's the Arcturians, whatever, you know, we're all one anyway. That's how I kind of see, and that's why I don't bring it up that often in my channelings. But last night, I'm like, who is this? There was this like curiousness of who this was. There was a passion and a beautiful vibe that was coming through. And I went through everything. Cyanians, Pleiadians. I was kind of like, yeah, could be. Nova, could be. And then I went to the star beings. And then I realized, sorry, I'm just got my head in the wrong game here. Then I realized it was the Star Seeds Collective. That's what it was. So what it was is those that are star seeds that have come from higher dimensions, different planets and different places that are remembering their home, have awoken. And now we're coming together as one kind of grid around the earth, collectively as a channel message coming through. And each and every one of us is going to bring through these channel messages through our own filter. So we have our own filter as well. So I have my filter, and then someone over in Mexico who's a starseed has their own filter, because they have their own soul, logically based soul alignment that they've, you know, the life that they've actually had, and they have their own filter of how to express their channel message. But apparently it's all going to be kind of one message anyway in the end. But yeah, so there's a lot of us that are going to start coming together with these star seed collectives, and I've never heard of that. I don't know if it's happening already on YouTube. I have no idea, because I don't follow anyone. I don't follow channelings at all, because I wanted to have my channeling really, really clear, and I don't want to be copying, you know, logically off somebody else's channeling. So every single channeling I have is just specific from my team, and I trust them. Absolutely trust them. So this was a passionate channeling via the Starseed Collective, a rising collaboration. I'm reading this, by the way. A rising collaboration of souls who live as humans in the now on Earth. Those that have done the work enough to combine their wisdom as one. So that's what I wrote at the top when I realized who this was. And I'll get into this channel message. Just address the chat bar. Hey, everybody. Hey, Cherie, Horse Haven, Mary, good to see you. Atharava, all is one, and Wade. Jesus is coming. Interesting. It's really an awareness of knowing that we are exactly equal as he is. That's how I see it. There is an elder that I worked with, and she said, if I put Jesus in front of you right now, would you see yourself as equal? And I straight away put my hand. You just know when you're in those higher God-like vibes, there's understanding that you are source energy going on a journey in a body, that you are equal, where there is no better and there's no worse. There's just different variations, because as soon as we see something as better or as worse, then we are creating a villain, or we are creating a victim, or we are creating someone superior on a pedestal, and they will always fall anyway. So we're all, when we see ourselves as equal, but with different experiences that we can share, then we are all that. We are that within ourselves. Okay, so I'm just going to put that out there. So let's get into this. This channeling that came through was so beautiful, and there was this really strong passion, a desire, a understanding from the Starseed Collective. We started off with, this world has created a program that everyone has agreed to, willingly or not. It has put every soul through so much stress, on average 10 times per day. Like, in other words, the way that we have to work out through our life, the stress level, even if you're pretty clear, you still have these moments of stress because of the way the system has collapsed in on us. And you've got to do your tax, you've got a telemarketer call coming in, or whatever it is. It's stress, that sort of thing. And they're saying on average 10 times a day. And I reckon in some people's lives their whole day is stress, and then on some people's lives they have less. So we're just going to say an average 10 times a day, which to me is a lot. To me that's a lot, because I've done a lot of work on my mind and stuff, and I'm thinking, why would we want to feel stress all the time? But that's the system that's been poured over us. So dealing with the outside world has never been more difficult, which is forcing all to look within for answers. Fighting or hiding from this reality will either catch up with you or push back. That much one needs to have at least realized by now. So if you don't realize that hiding or fighting from reality is not helping, it's not, because fighting, you're going to get a pushback. Hiding, it's going to come out anyway. So you have to address these things. That's why they say take the reins. The go-to for most is to blame another, but that means you're a victim, and a victim in the universe created from the original program that underlines everything will always manifest as a perpetrator or the opposite, so you can stay a victim. You feel you're a victim, then your reality will carve its path as a victim, which means that you actually manifest a perpetrator outside of you. So victims manifest perpetrators, perpetrators manifest victims. This never-ending cycle is what humanity is trapped in. The only way out, therefore, is to go within and find your own power, that spark beneath your feelings that you thought would never be accepted by others. Now, that spark beneath your feelings, because we haven't even, if you're hiding away from your feelings, then you'll never feel that spark, that essence of who you are. And that's what it says. This is your essence, your connection to your soul. So we've been hiding away, and it's the emotions have been clouding ourselves, because we don't want to look deep into our emotions to get to the feeling or the essence of ourselves that we've been hiding away from, because we've been trying to cap ourselves to be able to fit into a society that's never really worked for us. A frequency that will never separate from the whole. This essence that you have within you, the soul essence, is a frequency that will never separate from the whole, because it is the whole. And therefore, the way you think and feel about yourself is your underlying power. carrying you out of a matrix. But up till now, it's been tainted with your own fears of it, of the system, of the matrix, because it was a matrix or a system program pulled over humanity that encapsulated humanity's consciousness into a fear-based game. So when you go into yourself and start to feel yourself, feel your own essence, your own spark that you've been hiding from, and it's very authentic, it's different, you're a different sort of person that you've been hiding than what you're showing to the outside world. You're not matching your outer, what you're showing the outside world to what you truly are in the feeling base. That's where you become discombobulated. You become wobbly in your own reality. And so when you start to look at that and go, that's it, I am different. I am going to be different. I don't care how the rest of the world feels, because I came here with this specific essence, this different essence, to be able to show people to be that. And so more and more of us are starting to do this. It's time for humanity to put these old, outdated ideas of living as a victim to bed. It's time to end your own suffering. You were born, weren't you? That means you were chosen. And that means you are, in this moment, very worthy to feel good. You're worthy to feel good. And to explore your imagining beyond a simple fear-based program, which is the fear-based program that literally limited your imagination. And limiting your imagination means that you are stuck in a story, because it's your imagination that actually gets you out of the story. Your imagination is so powerful, it can shift realities, but you have used it to distract you into thinking it is either too much for this world or it is useless. But your imagination is the door to shifting all. Open it and go beyond the simple, unbalanced life. Challenge what you can bring into your world. Play a new game, one where you made up the rules. And I really feel that was the collective, Starseed Collective, that figured this out while they were in a human form in your program, in the program that's happening now. We as a collective understand this very much so. And we are doing the work. We're still doing the work, but we are coming to the end. And that's why they keep saying the end is near, because we've had enough. And they're bringing up this really crazy thing that I brought it up in the reading yesterday as well, with this beautiful soul that I had a reading with. And it was a moment in time where I was having trouble with my two little ones. Now they're all growing up now. I'm just on my own, but I was like pushing for them to get to school. Come on, you got to get your socks on. Come on, you got to get your bag together. Come on, get your lunch. And getting a little pushy with it, right? And then I ended up at school an hour early, and I'm like, oh my God, it's my problem. I totally realized it was my problem. So I went back and I went, how can I stop myself from doing this? And straight away, here comes this very, very old comedian, Bob Hope, I think his name was. I remember him from when I was young. I'm that old as well. And it was like a 5-minute skit on YouTube, and he was a psychologist, and a patient came in, and the patient's like feeling anxiety, and he says, I'll give you 5 minutes, it'll cost you $5, this was that long ago. And go. And so this girl's going, oh my God, I feel like I'm closed in, I'm really boxed in, And he just turned around as a psychiatrist and said, just stop it. And she's like, how can I just stop it? Anyway, at that point, I realized I've just got to stop this. Like, we do have to take the reins to stopping our negative Nelly logical mind that has gone through the mill and created more and more problems from focusing in on all of the negative Nelly stuff and all the fear-based stuff. We've just got to stop it. This is the moment that we stop it. And that's why they said the end is near, because we're getting to that point where too many of us are going, we're stopping it. Now, the fresh new experience that's coming next is the thing that we're more afraid of, because it's our light shining. And it's the fact that we might end up shining so much that many, many see us. And when we were young, when many saw us, they were like pointing the finger at us and making us feel small because we were still in that victimized mentality, in the small victimized, I don't know what I'm doing here, we're a small kid mentality. So we got really persecuted back then. But that's not going to happen this time. Now it's more to do with I'm stopping it from within myself. I'm not giving myself any of those negative thoughts so much anymore. I mean, I'm not saying every single negative thought is going. I'm just talking about we're shifting it to a more 50% into the positive sort of thing, rather than the 50, the 80% negative, 20% positive. We're shifting it to more of a 60%, 70% positive, and maybe a 30% negative. That's the way I see it anyway, when I say more positive, that sort of thing. And it just gets more and more, builds into more and more. What's positive and what's negative anyway is just really being a construct or a concept within humanity, they're telling me. It's just a construct within humanity of how things work. Really, it's an experience, and we've just got to get to neutral. And neutral is the experience of, wow, that just happened. Oh, that's interesting. And it's no more attachment to I'm bad or I'm good. So that's kind of shifting to a 0 point understanding of ourselves as we move along here. So they're bringing that up as well. So here's 2 different levels of perspectives that you can see it from. This is what we call dimensions, they're saying. Dimensions of humanity's consciousness and how they actually figure things out within their mind, and their logical mind figures things out. And then we bring in the intuitive side, and it's another dimension on top of that. So we're becoming dimensionable. We're becoming more dimensions within our psyche or our consciousness. Our consciousness is becoming more aware of these different dimensional aspects, which give different stories or different truths to the same subject. And that's why we have these different beings that come from different planets that give us this information, and they have different perspectives or different dimensional aspects of the same truth. And you choose which one you want to align with. There is no bad or good. It's just a choice that you carry. What really what you've got to ask yourself then is, how am I feeling with this? Is this making me feel good? So you're choosing relationships, whether it be of a higher dimensional being that you're talking to, or even a human that you're talking to. You're choosing your relationships well to go with what makes you the happiest and what's giving you a good feeling, because even some of those higher dimensions might not resonate with you because you can't have the grounded adventure that you wanted. And so you're kind of wanting something a little lower than a high, so-called higher aspect that sees everything and understands everything. And so you choose a different perspective that you want to align with, so that you have more grounded reality. It's collectively collaborating with your logical mind as well. So there's a choice there to be made as you move along as to what frequency you want to go into. And then that frequency, when it becomes more and more humans are saying, I feel happiest here, that becomes our settled new reality, our settled new earth. And that new earth, they are saying, we don't even know what that's going to look like yet, because we haven't found the neutral aspect of our happiness yet, because we're still been playing the up and to and fro and the judgment game within ourselves of what's good and bad. Very cool. So yeah, they're bringing through a lot of that at the moment. But what is ending is that logical masculine mind being in charge now. That is ending. It's ending within us. And so in reflection, it will end outside of us. It was always an inside job first. And then you navigate towards using your imagination to create or shift a new story, which is why I put up the latest thing on Codes to a New Reality, the new channel I've created about time and shifting timelines. So that goes all together. See, I love it how my team brings something through and it totally makes sense with the energy, and I don't even see it. Like I just trust the game of what they're bringing through to help you guys. and I just want to help as many people as possible. But I'm dealing with my own game too. But they are saying that 2009, there was a massive shift that happened May, June, July. They're bringing me back to that. A more grounded sense or understanding that whoever was wherever in the moment of this, of deciding, it was like a decision from the start, those that are coming from different higher dimensions and those that have done the work. I'm just going to call them light workers. Those that have done the work, they decided as a collective, telepathically, to go shift to different places, and we were all called to different places depending on the energy that we were from a soul base. So we become in alignment with that frequency that needed to shift, highly shift. So that's why I ended up in New York, because I'm very feminine, I'm very imaginative, and they wanted my power to be at ground zero in New York, to be able to shift from that real deep masculine. Now, it wasn't just me. I think Basha, Matthias Stefano came just before me to New York, and Basha came just after me. And there was another lady that was in New York as well that was a really beautiful channeler. I wish I remember her name, but I don't. Sorry about that. Don't mean to be forget that, but I'm not very good with names. And she and I were there pretty much the same time. So there was two feminine holding energies for this to happen in New York. Now, also, I noticed that there was another beautiful soul that had come straight from Pleiades. I could feel her energy. She's absolutely gorgeous. She was going to Egypt exactly the same time. So we have all of this happening over these few months. In the middle of 2009, that was the big shift. That was the absolute understanding from a soul's perspective. We had to all be in specific places for us to make a bigger impact as just the soul's energy that we came in, alignment that we came in with, and the awareness that we each and every one of us had. It's got nothing to do with being better than or less, it's not to do with that. It's just that there was like let's just say, for instance, the whole of humanity's collective is one beautiful, beautiful bound of a story that God wanted to go on, that source energy wanted to go on. And source energy in its divineness went, I want to shift the story. So we'll choose that thought, which each thought would be, or neuron path or whatever, would be the same as a person. I'm going to choose those imaginings, those thoughts, and I'm going to place them within myself so that it just shines a light out to everything and completely smothers all other stories that I don't want to take into this next dimension. That's what they're showing me. So it's not that was chosen, that thought that was chosen. It was just that it was an awareness that knew a higher value or essence of humanity's consciousness. And so we were all put in those places. And it's nothing that we need to, no worshipping or anything like that in the higher dimensions, because when everyone finds the light within themselves, they're going to find the God essence within themselves, and then they're going to, or the source energy within themselves, and they're going to remember that aspect of their soul, and then they're going to shine as well. And so we all go into these higher dimensions where we're creating a completely new path, a complete new journey. So yes, the end is near, but the next stage is a new journey. And always within a next journey, there's part of us, especially that logical part of us, that's going to be going, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to fit in. I don't know how I'm going to be able to work through this because it's all brand new and I don't even know. And remember, logic just loves to go round in the same groove because it makes it feel safe. It's a grounded aspect of being logical or masculine. Masculine are harder to shift, because they just like the groove. They like to feel safe in this in the physical kind of denser world, and they know that denser world very well. So when they find something, they get dogmatic and they stay there, and they'll find every way, if they can, to stay there, which is what's happening with the ones in charge at the moment. And it's only until a feminine power rises its energy into a new imagining and becomes very strong within that. I know this imagining can be grounded. I know you can help me, masculine man, masculine side. I know you can help me to ground this. Would you like a new story? Are you sick of this old story? Are you sick of the fear? Are you sick of that? Because I over here, I'm showing you a completely new path. And that's literally what's happening at the moment. So coming into 2006, we are then the energy alignment with source energy itself. Source energy is humanity's consciousness, remember. It's not separated. That is the logical way of thinking. It is all of one encompassing. We start to realize it was all one, it is all one, and that's where we find that 0 point, because we're no longer judging, we're no longer picking holes on who's better and who's not. It's just, wow, you're in my energy, you're part of my experience, I love listening to you, and you love listening to me, and that sort of, and it becomes that. Or whatever value that person's bringing. Maybe they're not a speaker, maybe they're just bringing in the energy. It's just a non-judgmental place, is what I'm trying to say, without going too much into a story. We start to value everyone differently, but we've already found that shift within ourselves. We're not poo-pooing the logical mind anymore, and we're not poo-pooing the imagination anymore. We're seeing them as equal value to two different sides of a whole story that could create a magnificent path where we are grounded and we hold the magic as well. So yeah, very cool. Okay, guys. Hey, Anne, good to see you in the chat bar as well. Cherie, I've seen him as my brother. I think we're talking about Jesus there. Just reading a couple of these chat bar thingies. All is one, feeling discombobulated. It can happen. Why do starseeds, chosen ones, suffer more in their life? Actually, it's interesting because we came from a higher. It's interesting because we're not really. We're just pushing it all into one life. So humanity has gone through all the persecution and all of that over and over and over and over, and they got stuck in it. Well, it's not really stuck. It's part of the original. It's just a story that humanity had to go through. So when the starseeds came, we feel like we've had to go through a lot because we came from a higher dimension that was very everything worked for us in those places, and we knew them well. We knew the energy well, but we had to come through with that energy to be able to ground it. So when we were born, we felt more. We felt more because we wanted to keep the essence of that soul memory intact, and because we knew that now is the time to bring it forward. So what happens is when you feel more, you bring in more, and so you end up having a lot of problems happening. But we also knew that we had to lose ourselves in all of those victimized feelings within ourselves. We had to lose ourselves to be able to find ourselves again. And the only person who could find ourselves is us. We had to find ourselves. We couldn't look outside ourselves for somebody's help because we were the first ones to be able to shift the story. So our navigation was our soul tribes, those that were holding the light and the essence, the angels and the collective in a higher frequency. So we had, through our feelings and being in tune with our feelings, also guidance, huge guidance from etherical beings. And so we had that, but we also felt more when it comes to the human aspect. And so we felt like we were really unjustly, done in. And we also, because of the light that we held, we showed up to humanity, the aspects of themselves that they've been hiding life after life. So we showed it up to them. We've become their mirror of what they were hiding from. And so then they wanted to persecute us even more. And we've had to kind of navigate using our higher feeling-based connection to our tribe, soul tribe that is still in the etheric. We had to navigate with all of that through a lot of crap. So we really would have brought in those narcissist relationships. We really would have brought in a lot of crap. But we also had within us an understanding, a feeling of, I know I'll get myself out of this anyway. So you kind of did delve deep. But also at the other end of that, you lost yourself to be able to find yourself so that you could teach others. So in the end, you become the guides and the teachers, because if you found it within yourself without any outside help, other than your own, spiritual guidance, then you can teach others how to do that as well. And then they become whole within themselves. So, and now is the time for us to become the teachers or the guides for those that are coming up in the ranks, because there's going to be many more coming up now, many more awakening now. So they're going to be like calling out for those that, who knows their soul, who knows how to work with the essence of. And so it looks like there's a lot of us when we go into that world, but there's not compared to the masses that's going to come up. So we needed a lot to shine our light now. I hope that answers your question, Farava. Yeah, there's different reasons why it happens, and each and every one of us has our own unique story that we have to pull ourselves out of being a victim. We have to pull ourselves. We can't look for somebody else's help other than our guidance to pull ourselves out. Eventually, and now, from now on, they're telling me soul tribes come together to help each other, because you've done enough work then to be able to magnetize each other. You've stepped out of the victimization enough for us to be a magnet for another soul tribe member. And then you start to see the coming together of many in a physical form, and an understanding. And this is why we've been able to connect telepathically together and understand where we were supposed to go in this world at a specific time as well, to do some grid work and all of that sort of thing. That you're welcome, Shui. Yeah. There's a purpose for everything. There is a purpose for everything. And we're stepping into our own magnificence, which is going to bring forth something very unique for this world they're saying to take, because Mother Earth herself, Gaia herself, birthed us as well. I mean, we all come through her energy to be here. And she made a conscious awareness and a decision for your very unique soul that came from the stars or other dimensions to be born as a human in this now time, to be able to help humanity. So that essence that you carry from those other dimensions will be your unique self that you have to feel into, that you say, I am different and I am very proud of it, and I will speak up about that difference, because that's the difference that Mother Earth, that Earth herself, had decided to come into humanity's consciousness to help awaken you. So yeah, there's a lot of collaboration here. And just the awareness that you were born means that you are worthy of being here and being your unique self. That is enough. You don't need someone outside of yourself to tell you how good you are. Also, your value of how you work this world is going to shift from a money-based value, I need to have money to be able to survive. It's going to shift to, I need to know how to shift my reality quicker. I need to know how to work my mind quicker. The quicker you can get out of things, the more power you have. The more freedom you have, the less fear you have to step into these very unique situations, and you don't see them as fear-based anymore. The anxiety falls away because you now have the navigational tool of your mind. You are in control of your mind, not it in control of you. And so you start to shift your reality based on that. You become the value of how to work your imagination and ground it into this reality. Remember, it's the logical mind that has to agree to the feminine mind to ground something in this reality. And then you become in sync with that vibrational meet of others doing the same work. And then that's where the a small collective comes together to create a business. And then more businesses will form that are to do with shifting one's reality rather than looking outside themselves for gold or money, or that'll fall away, because it's like, well, what is gold anyway? It's just it's actually been infused into humanity's consciousness because there was dominating beings, the Anunnaki and so forth, and Draconians and stuff, that wanted to collect the gold to be able to be worthy, because they wanted to use it for their planet, to use an osmosis. I hope I'm saying that right. Osmosis way to be able to put into their atmosphere, to be able to hold energy for their planet. Something to do with that, because their planet needed something outside of themselves. They're always looking for things outside themselves. And so humanity was enslaved into feeling that gold was really, 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 really important, because we were the miners of that from when our program started a very long time ago. So now we're starting to realize that is just a program pulled over us by another superior being in that time, that needed it for something. Now, to get ourselves out of that, it's not to do with the actual tangible gold, which you can't eat it, you can't really do a lot with it unless it's transformed into this osmosis effect, and many of us don't even know about that, but we just kind of hold it in a bank vault, and say we're wealthy, and then we share it. We tell other people to, it doesn't make sense energetically. And so the most important people in this world are going to start to be the ones that can actually shift their mind and the value of how their imagination can create a new path. That's going to be more of a value going into these new businesses. They're saying, we're not saying that we get rid of money, and you'd have to be very in line with yourself, and know the value of yourself completely to do that. So make sure that you are in line with yourself first, and trusting your soul completely, and trusting that you are source energy completely before you say, I get rid of my bank balance and I'm going to completely jump off the cliff and trust my soul. Yes, that can happen. Yes, you can do that, but just be aware that you don't want to rush into things before your energy is in alignment of that understanding. Yeah. Atharava, thank you, Bobby. You great guidance is such a simple way. Oh, great. I'm glad that I can help you. Yeah, it's funny. I failed English. I pretty much failed school. I failed English terribly. I'm dyslexic, and I think it was perfect because it's easier for me to take these feelings and put them into simplistic words. They give me some words that I'm like, is that even a word? Does it even make sense? But I trust it now, because it's happened so many times that I trust it. But most of my language skills is pretty basic, so it makes it easier to be able to teach you guys how to go. Because what they're giving me has a lot more. There's like the big spiel that I give you is gifted to me in a millisecond. It's like a feeling, an understanding, an absolute. And then I have to take that and put it into words, which can take quarter of an hour before I've got the understanding out completely. And so then they give me another, and then I'm like, hang on a sec, it's like that. But we've learned how to work together well now to be able to get the message. I put it into English, and remember the English words, it's just not enough English words to decipher every single aspect of the feeling that they give me. But it's enough. I've figured a way out enough. I have enough tenacity within my mind. I've been able to share it with you guys enough, which is good. So yeah, it's been a journey. And if anyone's followed me up till now, you know, I started like 4 years ago or something. I just went, that's it, I'm going live. I came out of a narcissist relationship. He bit me up. It was the whole shimbag, horrible crap, blah, 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 you know, cheated on me, the whole, and then I just went, that's it. I'm going to be me. I'm just going to be me and go live. And from there, I slowly, and if you go on my very, very first channelings, you'll see how much it's shifted to now. And now it just feels like we are one when I'm talking. And I'm literally, during the day when I meet people, very much so, they can come through at any given moment, and I just let them, and I just channel messages. So it's literally been integrated into my life. So I've stayed a hermit a lot through this, being on my own. Even when I was with my last partner, we pretty much split, even though we're living in the same house, a year after we came together, and then we kind of did our own thing. We came together every now and then because we liked each other's energy, but mostly I've been pretty much a hermit on my own. And I know that it's now time for me to get out more, but is there anything else that you want to bring through? I just pick up my little crystal. So I hold a Moldavite and this little priestess crystal that Arne in New York gave me when I was there. Thank you, Arne. These are my two go-tos. I feel like this one, this Moldavite, is very much connected to the ETs, the outer space, that sort of thing. And this beautiful one is like my priestess, inner goddess kind of a feeling. So I've got them together now, and it's perfect for channeling. It's really cool. So thank you, Arne, very much. See if there's anything else that wants to come through with this ending. So yeah, right now, huge shifts are happening. It's not going to be on the only thing you'll see on the news and the TV, which I don't even watch, I haven't watched for years and years, is that old program trying to grasp to stay afloat. Through fear games, propaganda, creating stories that blah, blah, blah. They always do. They create their own dramas to try to draw people into the dramas. It's typical narcissism value there. And what's really shifting is those that are holding the light, those that have done the shadow work. We are starting to really understand the navigation that and the pull, the power that we actually have to help shift the reality into a whole new game. And we're being very careful here to create our own. You just go into yourself, whoever you are, into yourself, and create the most beautiful, happiest environment for yourself. That's more important than thinking about it as a whole, because the whole, humanity's consciousness, is going to make up their own mind in the end what they want to zone into as a neutral, solid, grounded happiness for themselves. What that looks like, we can bring in these stories as new imaginings, because we remember them from our higher dimensional aspect of ourselves, from past lives and that, where we came from. We can ground them into our reality, but it's going to be up to the wholeness whether they want to come in on that or not, or whether they want to create something new. We have to be very open and flexible for that, because it's not up to us to tell humanity where they go next. It's up to us just to show them different ways of getting out, different ways of grounding new imaginings onto this world. It will all come together as one anyway, because we wouldn't be here in this body unless we were, of some purpose to share with the world. But we don't want to be judging anything as we go up, or we don't want to be directing people in a narcissist way either. We don't want to be controlling. other people too. Let people go where they need to go, because that's where they fall, and that's where they're showing me that the bottom of humanity's consciousness lifting into a new bottom is more happy and more conducive, more peaceful, more imaginative, very even based with their masculine and their feminine, very neutral. Yeah, but how that actually plays out, as in creating new things with Earth on Earth, is also going to be, at least it will be a more connective way, because they have to be in touch with their feelings. And so things will shift, as in when they want to draw something from Earth in a physical way, we ask Earth. Like there will be, it won't just be dig there, that's where the oil is. It'll be, is this conducive for Mother Earth, for humanity to dig here for this, whatever they are pulling up. There will be that, because the people will start to become more aware of their connection to Earth, and so we'll have this understanding that there's a feeling, and if they do something wrong, you'll feel it. If you dig somewhere wrong, or you pull out something wrong, you'll feel it. And everything that there's a freedom here for us to utilize the material world. Everything is energy in the end, returning back to energy. But if you're making more beauty from it, if you're bringing more light and love into the world, then yeah, go for it. If you are using it as a control mechanism, you'll feel it. Those that are done away, they'll be like, they're bringing me to a story when I moved to Mount Coolum, and I just split up with my husband. I had 2 little girls in tow. They're only like 3 and 4 years old, and I had to start all over again. And I wanted to create a book called Imagine Holding Hands, and there was a mountain right next to us, and her name was Mount Coolum. That was right next to us. And I went up and I took all these photographs, and then I came back and I started to manipulate the mountain to show face or something like that. And I got this real, you do not do that. No. See, when you're really in touch with your feelings, that's what you're going to feel. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not allowed to do this. There's no way out. You can't do something like that. It'll make you feel worse and worse as you go along. And I did about 3 or 4 pictures before I just started to listen and went, okay. I scrapped everything. I trashed all of the work that I did, and I just trusted. And then I said to my girls, you want to go up for, up the mountain, climb up the mountain? So we climbed up. We got to this beautiful place and took a couple of photos of my girls in front of the mountain. And lo and behold, couldn't believe it when I got back. There was an image of my daughter. I didn't see it at the time. She was like standing, pretty much in just her, and then there was just this rock face on this side, and in the rock face was an image of 2 hands holding like this. And my book was called Imagine Holding Hands, and so in the rock face was these 2 hands holding. And I'm like, that's exactly what I wanted. But that happened sporadically. It happened in tune with the mountain. She knew what I wanted, and I knew what she wanted, and I knew that she wanted me to put that in the book. It was a collaboration that happens, and that's what I'm talking about as we move into these higher dimensions. We're no longer manipulating for thinking that it's going to work for the outside world. We are working together as one. And yes, a couple of magical things happened with that book. It was a long time ago. I probably should publish it again. It was to enlighten children into their imagination. I think I published it like 2010. I've actually published a couple of books. There was also another one that came through Jonah and Kitty, the Timekeeper's Void, and that was going into the elemental world and bringing that up. And then I started the UFO girl, but I hadn't finished it. Anyway, it was a long time ago. But my journey shifted. My journey shifted to channeling live. So Yeah, that's where we're at. Okay, guys, I think I've spoken or chatted enough. We will leave it here. Don't forget, I might do an actual look out for tomorrow. I might actually do. Still thinking of, probably will. A tarot reading tomorrow because I cannot do it on Thursday. That's when I'm actually moving to the next house sit. So I might do a tarot reading tomorrow for you guys. Yeah, tomorrow morning. So look out for that one. If I don't do it tomorrow, I'll probably do it on Friday when I'm settled, but it will be done. Yeah. And go check out my new channel, Codes to a New Reality. That's on YouTube. And yeah, if you want to be part of my AMAKEL school, I'm going to put up another few lessons there. Telepathic lessons are really cool. This one, I love this one. This next one I'm going to put up. So guys, until next time, bye.